Hey everybody, it's the Legal Lifty, and today let's brew our Kiunyu Peaberry as a filter offering. Peaberry offerings. These are, so normally in your coffee cherry, imagine a little red coffee cherry fruit, you have, your beans are the two halves. So if you were to pop them apart, there are two coffee beans in one coffee cherry. The Peaberry is a mutation in the bean where instead of two halves and two beans, they mutate and fuse, and you have one really round, chock full of sugar Peaberry. So it is a mutation that happens in such abundance, especially in Kenya, that you can sort it and have complete lots that are only these Peaberry offerings. Normally, if you get a coffee offering, you can probably sort through those beans and find some of these little round Peaberry offerings. But this one, it's all Peaberries. Oops, all Peaberries. And very sweet, nice texture. So lower on the acidity side, big on the sweetness side. Because of that, I'm gonna do a really big Kalita Wave recipe, about the largest I think we can fit in a Kalita Wave. This is gonna give us a lot of sweetness in each cup and gonna give us about 2 cups. So you can serve both of these. So Kalita Wave, I've got a stir stick because this is a bigger recipe. I wanna make sure we break all of those air pockets. And we're gonna be using 28 grams of our Kiunyu Peaberry. This is ground medium. I ground this on 15 clicks on the Baratza Encore. This will be about 25 clicks on your Commandante C40. And we're gonna be using 480 grams of 205° Fahrenheit water. So normal temp water, bigger recipe, and this is essentially our Cafe Kalita recipe with an extra pour at the end. So normally we're pouring to 400, and this time we're gonna add an extra step and pour up to 480. So, should be familiar. Let's get brewing. First things first, let's wet this paper filter. Boom, drop in the middle. Wet those paper edges. I'm gonna stick in here for just a second longer, let this Kalita fill up so that it gets nice and hot, because I want all that heat in here. And I'm actually gonna use this extra water to preheat my mug so that it is nice and warm for this big brew. Let's dose our coffee. So this is coarser than we generally do for this Kalita recipe, and that's because we have extra coffee in here. We have more coffee, we have more resistance, and we have less headroom in that brewer, so we need a coarser grind so that we can get all of that. Let's tare our scale. Water's hot, let's brew. I'm gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna bloom with 50 grams. Say 50 to 60 is what we wanna shoot for. Just enough to saturate and poke where you see the air pockets. I even felt a little crunch when I hit that air pocket. There we go. You'll see that water level drop as you break those air clumps and that water fills in those gaps. Here at 30 seconds, punch it here in the middle, spiral out to 160. Boom, drop in the middle. Should take about 5 to 6 spirals. Your last spiral hitting you there around the outside inner edge of our Kalita filter. 45 seconds, boom, hit it again, spiral out. Should be about 3 circles at around 220. So there we go. And now we're predominantly watching this water level. We're right up here about 3/4 full. When I get just in between 3/4 full and the coffee bed, that's when I'm gonna hit it again, and that is gonna be right here at 105. Drop another 3 spirals. Should be at around 280. So I'm slowing down my flow rate just a little bit when I'm rinsing here around the outside. That's so that I can make sure to push all this coffee back underneath this water. The bottom of our Kalita Wave is flat, and so I want the top of my coffee to be flat. Here in a minute and a half, I'm gonna hit another pour, and we're gonna bring this up to 340. Boom, drop in the middle, really heavy. You should see that coffee stir up. Move your way around to the outside. Like I said, we should be around 340. Because I'm gently rinsing the coffee off the inner edge of this filter, we should be pretty clean around here. I shouldn't have any big clumps. If you do, lighten up even more and be really gentle around the outside on your final circle. All right, at 2 minutes, boom, hit it, spiral around, finishing at 400. We're a little over, we're all right because we're not done yet. And now, at 215, I'm gonna finish this off, 480. Boom, drop, rinse, rinse, all the way around, 480, there we go. So, after that 45-second pour, I'm pretty much trying to maintain this high water level. When we have more coffee in our brew bed, we need taller water to force everything through it. If we just keep really tiny pours, it's gonna be really slow because there's no air pressure. There's no water pressure, sorry. And so that's why when we get bigger recipes than this, we really can't fit them and make them good in small brewers like this. Still gonna drain pretty fast. I expect a 3.5 minute drain time, which is pretty traditional for a Kiunyu coffee. This Peaberry, it's gonna be bright, it's gonna be sweet. If we grind too fine and this is choked and we aren't able to fit these pulses in at these given times, then we're going to get a very muddy cup of coffee. It's gonna be kind of like baker's chocolate on top of all this fruit. So it's gonna taste like a really bad edible arrangement. If we're too coarse and this just drains really, really fast, it's gonna be sour. It's gonna be a little bit salty, like you put a few drops of saline in there, and it's going to be very weak in texture. Instead, we should be really silky. We should get slightly tart, but rich and sweet black currant. We're gonna get molasses. And we're going to get dried orange. So think like a mix between just like dried orange slices and those like orange candy fruit slices. This is a very sweet coffee, very silky texture. And did I say molasses? So this very developed sweetness, which tied with that black currant gives us a really nice tart acidity with a ton of sweetness. Sir? Got left over for a second cup, and enjoy.